welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we're gonna make hot cross buns. I have here a little history on them to let you know. So hot cross buns are associated with Easter that we know of today. It hadn't always been associated as a Christian pastry, but as Christianity spread, the cross on the buns took on a religious meaning representing the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And in the 14th century, one of the ways they became real popular was a monk at St. Albans Abbey in England began distributing the buns to the poor on Good Friday, marking a key moment in the buns association with Easter. And sometimes they called these like penny buns. I don't know if I grew up playing a recorder, like, I don't know, we all got a recorder when we were in elementary school, and I just remember going, hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, blah, 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 because I don't remember what the rest of it was either. But they were penny buns that were a treat at the end of Lent. So that is when, you know, during Lent, most of the time people couldn't have sugar or butter, that kind of thing. So it kind of just wrapped Lent up. You got sugar and butter and a little sweet thing there. So today we're gonna make hot cross buns. And the first thing we have to do is proof our yeast. So I've got some warm milk here that I'm gonna pour into my mixer. And then I've got some yeast I'm just gonna sprinkle over top of it and give that just a minute to bloom. And when I say bloom, it just means it kind of brings it back to life, because obviously it's dried out and put in a little package or however you buy it. And so that just needs and I can smell it already blooming. And then I have some warm butter that we're gonna add. I melted 6 tablespoons of butter. That'll go with this 1 cup of milk, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. And we're gonna let that just get happy. Other ingredients we have here, I've got 4 cups of flour, different spices. So this is gonna be kind of a roll, a sweet roll. And the spices are your cinnamon, allspice, and ginger. So we've got cinnamon, allspice, and ginger here that we're gonna mix in with our flour. And a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, and a cup of, I'm using raisins today. Traditionally they would use currants, but I don't have any, but raisins, you know, I think will work. So anyway, so that is bloomed. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump in my flour to this little mixture here. And with my flour, I'm just gonna top it with all my spices. Like I said, I've got cinnamon, ginger, allspice, and some salt. And I'm gonna mix that up so it gets into a dough-like form, and then add my eggs 1 at a time. Okay, then I'm just gonna take my dough and I'm gonna dump it on the counter, and I'm gonna spread it out and go ahead and just squish on my raisins and let this rise for about 1.5 hours, and we'll make our hot cross buns with it. All right, now that our dough has doubled in size, I'm gonna punch it down and pull it out here. Smells good. And we're gonna divide it up. I'm gonna divide it into 12 pieces. We'll see how, I might have to pinch some off of other pieces, but it'll be pretty close. And then make your dough balls and set them on your parchment paper. All right, so friends, now that we've got our dough divided, 12 rolls on the thing, I've mixed together 1/3 cup of flour and 2 tablespoons of sugar in this bowl, and you're just gonna add enough hot water to make a thick paste. So let's just add a little at a time. We're just gonna make a thick paste because we're gonna pipe that on. Oops. This is what's gonna make the cross part on our buns. So see how thick that is? That's what we want. You do not have to worry about scoring your rolls at all. This is gonna bake right into the dough. So I'm gonna put this in. I have a pastry bag. If you don't have pastry bags, you can use a Ziploc bag and just cut the corner off. But until my pastry bags run out, I'm probably gonna keep using them just because I like them. And if you want pastry bags, you can just get them at Walmart. Just cut a little top on that, and then we are and we're gonna put that in an oven 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and you'll see how they turn out. We'll be right back. All right, friends, so while the hot cross buns are in the oven, we're gonna make our sweet glaze for the topping. I've got about a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of heavy cream and whisk it together. Shout out to my friends at Mayola. I do not get paid to do anything for them. I just like supporting them because they're local, and it supports my local farmers, friends of mine that I know. And then I'm gonna add a little vanilla bean paste. Whisk all that together for our glaze. About a teaspoon, but I'm just gonna pour it and measure with my heart because I love it. And look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just pulled my hot cross buns out of the oven. You can see some of them are perfect. Some of them I didn't do such a good job at piping my crosses on. But you can see how that flour and sugar just cook right in on top, unless it got hot and rolled off like it did on that one. I'm going to go ahead and put this all drizzle down. I should be more patient, but I'm not. I think my glaze is going to keep its white tone, so okay, I might not be perfect, but that's the glaze I wanted to make and use. So you can't see the crosses so greatly underneath of it, but that's okay. We're gonna bust one of these open because it's all about what does it taste like, and so you can see the inside of one. So let's get one up here. Let me get a little plate. So let's put it on here, and I'm gonna like cut it in half for you to see what they look like. All those spices. It's not super sweet, but perfect little thing to have with a cup of coffee for breakfast on Good Friday. Be sure to click like, subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.